Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the ANZ Pro League. I'm Zeph, with me is Death, and we've got our Gamester guys doing all the production tonight. Make sure you give them some love. They've been doing a fantastic job throughout the weeks bringing you this tournament. And we're about to hop into a TVT. It's going to be Azure vs Seither on Abyssal Reef. Now, who is going to be the king of Abyssal after this one?
It's a good question. I mean, only time will tell, but Seither is so heavily favored on paper, Zeph. You know, I was telling you I had a stat for you,
so I went back and for me.
I went back and looked. So these two guys have played 19 best of series since 2015. Just guess for me, okay? Like, this will be a test for you. How many do you think that Azure has won?
Out of how many? Sorry, 19?
Out of 19.
19, okay. I'm going to go with 7.
2.
Oh, 2.
He's won two series. And in game scores, he's taken 9 games off Seither in total in tournaments, compared to Seither's 35.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's been a while since Azure's really been able to put up much of a fight against this guy. Seither just exploded into the scene in 2015 and 16. And Azure, he was actually in the form of his life throughout that period as well. And I think it's just a testament to how very good Seither is in this matchup in particular. It's one of his strongest, and at times it's definitely looked like his strongest. And it's been the reason why he's been able to qualify for international events as well on the back of his TVT against like Igers and Azure, players like that.
Yeah, I gotta say that stat kind of surprises me, because in my mind, most, if not all, of the Terrans in the region can trade wins back and forth very evenly, but with a stat like that, I mean, yeah, I guess Seither is a little bit favored here, and I shouldn't be as surprised as I am, because as you mentioned, Seither's a guy that qualified for WCS, and to do that, you usually have to go through Igers, who's been absolutely terrifying, and Seither was one of the only guys that could consistently give him a run for his money, if not knock him out. So we'll see what happens as we are loaded in to Abyssal Reef here between these two Terran gentlemen. And in the bottom right, in the red trunks for SYF, it's Seither.
And up here in the top left, playing for Team Legacy Esports, it's Azure. He's going to need to find something within himself to overcome history. Just something special. He's going to need it here. But we've had a bunch of patches, and the game is different to the last time these guys would have really played in tournaments, because you cast your mind back a little bit over the past couple of years of Legacy of the Void, Zeph, and you think about how the Raven really defined the metagame. And Raven harassment, even Raven late game sometimes. But the unit has been completely redesigned from the ground up, and this could be a different story between these two players, because their strengths and weaknesses might play out in a different way given the new patches and design.
Yeah, certainly. I'm always interested to find out how the meta evolves from there, especially in our region, which can be sometimes a little bit different from the rest of the trendy regions, your Koreas, your EUs and whatnot.
Trendy regions.
But yeah, so we'll find out. I mean, from what I've seen recently, and mind you, this is mostly Korean games, it's a lot of Cyclone versus Cyclone. But I'm not sure if that's the case around here. I mean, have we done that many TVTs? I think we've done a couple, and they were more like Marine Siege sort of games.
Yeah, generally Marine Siege, but lots of early game Raven harassment, things like that. So the build orders these days can be quite different. I've seen a lot of players opting to just forego a starport altogether in order to get more stim out and stuff like that, because the starport as an aggressive option is no longer as good, and it's kind of a twofold effect, because Cyclones now can help you defend against Liberators and Banshees and whatever harassment comes your way so much better than they could pre-patch.
Yeah.
But, you know, each player to their own, I suppose, and each player has their own approach to the matchup. so far. Seither, he is just going for that solid 1-1-1 opening. And starting with the Cyclone there, while Azure goes for that fast expansion, getting that bunker up. And he'll try to defend and get an economic advantage.
Yes, indeed. So, Starport finishing up momentarily for Seither. He's got first a couple of Reapers poking out here, see if they can do some damage. We've got the Cyclone following that up as well, and that Starport's being moved over to the tech lab in the meantime. Now that bunker is not finished building. Seither arriving right on time to stop that from happening. Now these two Marines are not going to have a good time against these little Reapers. Oh, he does manage to finish it off. Well done.
Yeah, very well played. Very well done by Azure there. He needed to get that bunker up. Oh my god, what is Seither doing?
Okay.
Question mark?
Whoopsie.
Okay. All right. Well, a couple of Reapers might go into the main, might find some damage over there. A Banshee should be finishing up pretty soon as well. But I don't know if he actually got Cloak. I feel like he didn't. But this is some good damage now coming down from Seither. A couple of SCVs will fall, maybe a third, maybe a fourth, but just 3.
Yeah, very nicely done. I mean, he's picked up 5 worker kills throughout this so far. Azure comes back and does deny that CC on the low ground from building himself, so that's a nice little bit of vengeance for the irritation early on. And we have got the tech lab taken off that starport now. He's going to move on into the reactor and put the barracks back on the tech lab instead, so we can start upgrading from that. Now, the Banshee is almost at the natural of Azure. What's he got in the way of defense?
Not a whole lot, but he will be able to make some turrets. That engineering bay is just about to finish up. I actually really like the fact that Seither's going for this Banshee. Just one, no cloak, might force a couple of turrets. That does some economic damage in and of itself. A couple of SCV kills going down as well, threatening some of those Marines too. And meanwhile, he's going to be able to jump up into the main once again with these Reapers. Can he find some good damage? There's absolutely nothing here, Zap, and even more SCVs are going down.
Oh man, this harassment from Seither is just so good. More SCVs, look at that. It's just too hard for Azure. Like, he's got to be in 2 places at once right now in a small number of units. He's now got 12 workers dead. And Seither, you know, he's sitting pretty at home. He's between his macro, he's got his natural up. His Viking should finally put an end to this nonsense in the natural base. But 2 more Cyclones are actually going to travel out on the map now.
Yeah, a couple Cyclones. I'm not really sure what they can do because there should be a sieged tank up in the natural. But Seither can just maintain a little bit of map control. But with 3 Cyclones, maybe he can do something. But I just feel like Azure does have too much to defend here.
He can pop this 1 Cyclone.
Yeah, if Azure's not paying attention, he certainly wasn't. That's the firepower of Cyclones. That was crazy. And what I really like here from Seither is the fact that he went straight into Stim. So he gets 1 Banshee, immediately gets on that tech lab, gets his stim, and that means that once he gets a couple of medivacs out in just a moment here, he can start dropping. And Seither, when he's attacking, is absolutely out of this world. He's such a good aggressive player.
Yeah. No. I don't know, I just feel like it's really rough for Azure. I mean, he's still up to date with the worker count despite having lost 13, but it's definitely not been the best start of the game for him. He's been kind of stuck in his naturally, got a bit of harassment on the CC of Seither early on by denying the SCV, but that's about all he's gotten done. Now, Seither could quite possibly continue to be the aggressive one here. He's got an extra tank on the field. One thing that Azure will have in his favor is that he's pumping out Vikings non-stop, so he will basically always have air superiority unless he mucks up and loses a bunch of them. So that can help definitely either pressure Seither or at least keep him at bay while he moves on into a 3rd base.
I'm not really quite sure if I like the Viking defense anymore because Seither is so good at finding holes and just exploiting them with these drops, or even just charging straight into the natural for a win. And Seither's production has been so much better for quite a long time now. He's able to produce 5 Marines at a time if he wants to, while Azure, he's only just now adding on extra barracks, and he's been supply blocked. He's down more than 20 supply. Going for a 3rd command center as well, I feel like Seither will be able to find a good contain, if not find some critical damage pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure. It's, oh my goodness, the SCV killed the Marine too. Oh.
Can I get a sad violin, please? Like,
F.
oh my god.
Oh wow. Well, Seither's kind of right up in his grill now. He's basically ready to push on in. He's still got 3 Cyclones lined up at the potential 4th base, I suppose. And he's got 2 medevacs worth of units skirting around the outer edge. They could go in the natural, I suppose. So he could actually come in from multiple angles at once if he really wants to press the issue there. Azure, in the meantime, just patrolling with this bunch of Vikings on the side of his base, looking for any drops there. And getting a turret up on this right-hand side as well. But Seither's like already got him surrounded, basically.
Yeah, and Seither's able to make that command center on the low ground, so he'll be able to catch back up in economy in just a second as well. Both of them have almost identical SCV counts. Azure, this is going to be a little bit ballsy, Zaf. He moves out with a lot of his Marines. There's not a whole lot left at home to defend. He does have a decent tank count.
Yeah.
But I'm scared because Seither has +1 already, so he's got that upgrade advantage. He's got a lot of units. He should be able to defend pretty nicely. But it looks like he's pretty content just waiting for Azure to try and take this 3rd base. And when, as a Terran player, you take your 3rd, that's the timing when you get your defenses spread out so far and it becomes so much harder to defend everything at once.
Yep, and he sees it, and Azure is notified of Seither's presence with some tank fire. Now, at the same time, he's going to stim into the 3rd base to see. They're definitely going to mow down some SCVs, maybe even get the kill on that CC at the same time. Is there enough here to save it?
No, he won't get that at all, but he did a reasonable amount of damage there. Zeph took out a lot of Seither's SCVs, but look at this, no! The 3rd base, it's being sieged. He does get the save. Nice moves there from Azure, who does catch back up in the upgrades. He's now just finishing up that 1-1, so his units will be pretty good, but there's a drop in the main here. Some of the Marines, this is pretty awkward for Azure now to defend because he's got to stem up with his Marines. He's losing a lot of mining time, and he's down to 35 workers, and another big attack comes through into the 3rd base. So many units from Seither just wreaking carnage over here, and he takes another massive lead. Yeah.
Well, that was definitely painful for Azure. Got a nice little win at the 3rd base of Seither, but not really able to capitalize on it. He's now lost 32 workers this game, and he's still stuck on 2 base. His 3rd CC had to go back into the main. And he's only just now mining again on that that main base, so he's kind of taking what he's got. Maybe Doom Drop is the way to go. There's a bunch of units out here for Seither, so please don't fly over them. Please do not fly over them.
Zeph, hold me, Zeph!
No! Oh my god!
Oh, the humanity! I had to literally take my hands off the keyboard because that was probably the most horrific sight I've ever witnessed in StarCraft 2.
Oh
that
my
was
goodness.
Brutal. Can I just look at the units lost? Oh jeez. 3,000 resources lost for Seither and 6,400 for Azure. That is just hell. He got dumpstered, really.
Oh my
the garbage truck rocked up on a Wednesday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it just took out the trash.
You really got to feel for him here. He's running out of options. He's running out of money. How do you push out his contain? Seither hasn't really even aggressively pushed in yet. He just kind of sat there and let Azure come to him, and he's absolutely slaughtered him when that's happened. So he's already got 3 or 4 medevacs up in the top there, waiting to slide on in as well. And Azure's just patiently trying to clear up some of this siege line down near the 3rd base, taking one of his own drops out on the other side of the map, seeing if he can maybe get some more damage done there, while the bulk of Seither's forces are out here.
And honestly, Seither doesn't need to attack. He knows his opponent's on 2 base. Seither's just pretty comfortable here. He can wait until his 4th base is up and his 2-2 is finished, which will happen in about a minute's time. 1 drop on the right-hand side, but Seither does have a lot of units here that he can use to defend. He's even got a siege tank. His defense has been impeccable. And really, it's his game to lose. Azure taking a couple of decent trades there, but that's not going to make up for all of those lost medivacs on the right-hand side.
No, it's certainly not.
Man.
It looks like the time is now.
That's going to make a highlight reel.
Yeah. Seither's actually sliding around the top. Now he's going to try and sneak into Azure's base. Looks like he's found a spot. Is it a good one, though? He's going to lose 2 tanks right off the bat. All of them, in fact, go down. All the medevacs and Marines as well. Nicely cleaned up by Azure.
I mean, the funny thing about this is this looks like a great trade for Azure, but look at this. This is going to come around the left-hand side just immediately. He was actually attacking that command center with his own siege tank and just loses the CC. Everything is so wounded. There's only one medivac in the skies for Azure, and he has to tap out. GG. And Seither brings SYF to match point 2-1 up over Legacy.
Goodness, you may just get your 3-1 prediction. Seither playing brilliantly there. Very nicely done. And some painful moments for Azure as well. Probably not too pleased with that one, but what can you do? 2-1 for SYF. And that means that Legacy really need to make it happen on the 4th map in a ZVZ.
Yeah, I mean, for a C tournament to be decided by a ZVZ, that would be quite fitting.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, it's going to be Peppy against Crimson. We'll have a little bit more to say about that in just a minute when we come back from our break. Can Legacy Esports bring it back? Can they force an ace match, or is SYF going to 3-1 and take the whole tournament and win it? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
But it ain't impossible to solve. I learned